You know that instant when a storm announces itself before the first lightning bolt tears the sky apart? The air changes. The pressure drops. Even the birds seem to vanish. That was Tuesday morning in Cleveland. The scoreboard from Sunday still burned in everyone's eyes. Browns 16, Bengals 17. 1 point, 1 heartbeat, 1 turnover too many. The meeting rooms were silent except for the shuffling of papers and the occasional sigh. The Browns hadn't just lost a game, they'd lost control of their own story. On paper, Cleveland outgained Cincinnati. They managed the clock. They owned time of possession. The defense, Myles Garrett and the front seven, kept the Bengals suffocating at just over 140 total yards. But football is cruel in the details. The Browns lost the turnover battle, missed a critical field goal window, and watched the game slip away. Numbers may tell you efficiency. The eyes told you heartbreak. And the name that wasn't on the stat sheet spoke the loudest: Shedeur Sanders. The rookie phenom, the lightning rod, the cultural catalyst, he did not take a single snap in Week 1. Instead, veteran Joe Flacco started, throwing for 290 yards, 1 TD, and 2 INTs. Solid numbers on paper, but the rhythm was off. The offense sputtered when it mattered. Special teams faltered. The margins razor-thin in the AFC North sliced deep. When reporters pressed head coach Kevin Stefanski after the game about Shedeur, his answer was classic Stefanski, measured, cautious. Shedeur's developing exactly how we want. He's preparing like a pro. Right now, Joe gives us the best chance. But every week is an evaluation. He didn't say, we lost because Shedeur didn't play, but he didn't shut the door either. And that ambiguity was gasoline for every talk show and Twitter thread across the league. By Monday, the debate was everywhere. Pundits on morning shows argued over clip reels. Some insisted Flacco deserved another start to stabilize the locker room. Others said Dillon Gabriel, yes, Dillon spelled correctly, should at least get a package of plays to inject life. But most of all, the chatter orbited Shedeur. The same 4 words from weeks ago, here or anywhere, still echoed in highlight packages. Fans asked, would one drive from Sanders have been the difference? The Browns' front office couldn't publicly answer, but behind closed doors, the question lingered. And looming on the horizon, Week 2. Ravens, Mant Bank Stadium, Baltimore. The Ravens are not forgiving hosts. They're physical, disciplined, and relentless. Baltimore doesn't just test your playbook, they test your soul. Cleveland's offense needs more than incremental tweaks. It needs identity. It needs vertical aggression on early downs, misdirection that bends linebackers, tempo sequences that prevent Baltimore's defense from dictating. And hanging over every whiteboard session is the unspoken possibility: Shedeur could be the spark. Inside Berea, rookie energy has become the only light after the Bengals' heartbreak. Tight end Harold Fannin Jr. turned heads with 7 catches in his debut. Running back Dillon Sampson contributed 93 yards and 8 receptions, showing he can move chains in big moments. Defensive rookies Mason Graham and Carson Schweissinger graded high on PFF's Rookie Team of the Week, a reminder that the Browns' long-term core might be sturdier than the opening loss suggests. The front office is shuffling quietly. Cole's strange release from a practice squad, depth refreshed at defensive tackle, whispers that Quinton Judkins could debut this Sunday. Small moves, but in Baltimore, even one fresh set of legs or one broken tackle can change momentum. Then came Shedeur's brief Tuesday presser, measured words, calm tone. I focus on my work. I'll be ready when my number's called. It wasn't explosive, but the subtext was louder than any viral clip. Cleveland's leadership might prefer to keep the rookie wrapped in bubble wrap, but the fan base has already unwrapped the idea in their hearts. On talk radio, the phrase, if not now, when, hung over every segment. Social media replayed Shedeur's college highlights as if to will him into the huddle. Around the league, executives are watching. Dallas producers note that Browns games are drawing rating spikes. Vegas oddsmakers are recalculating spreads after a single turnover. 2 NFC franchises quietly brainstorm what-if scenarios should the Browns mishandle this. And a speculative column even floated the idea, however premature, of a potential future trade, not because Cleveland wants it, but because leverage exists. That's what makes this week electric, the choice between immediate courage and patient caution. Option 1. Accelerate Flacco's rhythm, attack early downs vertically, and shorten third downs. Option 2. Introduce Shedeur-specific packages, adding tempo and vertical shots. Option 3. Fake aggression. Pretend to go faster without truly committing, which against Baltimore's disciplined defense is the fastest path to disaster. Dillon Gabriel's name, spelled correctly and uttered carefully, circulates in backup discussions. But the story is no longer just about depth charts. It's about identity. Cleveland has always whispered the same phrase to itself, now or never. And as Sunday in Baltimore approaches, the first whistle won't just start a football game. It will signal the next chapter in a franchise-defining saga. Even if Shedeur Sanders doesn't step onto the field, he's standing squarely in the middle of the story. The flight to Baltimore isn't long, but the emotional baggage the Browns are carrying could weigh down a jumbo jet. Inside the Berea facility, the fluorescent lights hum over late-night meetings. White boards are covered with arrows and shaded boxes, plotting out the smallest of advantages against a Ravens defense famous for taking away exactly what you want most. The room smells of stale coffee and quiet urgency. Kevin Stefanski stands at the center of the storm, like a man on a tightrope strung over Lake Erie. On one side, the rock-solid veteran approach. Stick with Joe Flacco, pound the run, limit turnovers, play field position, and trust Myles Garrett's defense to keep scores low. On the other side, a siren song. Shedeur Sanders, raw, charismatic, and unpredictable, could unlock explosive plays Baltimore hasn't seen on film. He's the vertical threat who can punish a single blown coverage, the quarterback whose improvisation can turn a broken pocket into a dagger through a secondary. Stefanski knows he can't say this out loud, but he's aware that Sunday's matchup might define his reputation in Cleveland. The city still remembers coaches who wavered, those who waited too long to make a decisive move, and watched their seasons crumble. He can almost hear sports radio callers, if he'd just given Shedeur one series. The weight of that hypothetical hangs heavier than the AFC North standings. Among the players, loyalties are less about personalities and more about rhythm. Offensive linemen, bruised from the Bengals' front, quietly admire Shedeur's lightning-quick release. Receivers watch his practice reps, deep spirals whistling through the autumn air, and whisper about the vertical game they haven't showcased yet. Defensive veterans keep their poker faces, but after practice, one veteran linebacker mutters to a reporter he trusts, "We're tired of 3-and-outs putting us back on the field." Special teams players just crave stability. Quarterback chaos filters down to coverage units, and kicking teams more than fans realize. Across the division, John Harbaugh and the Ravens aren't fooled by Cleveland's public poker face. Their defensive staff is preparing for Flacco and Sanders. Film sessions include side-by-side cut-ups, Flacco's methodical intermediate game versus Shedeur's off-script brilliance. Baltimore's linebackers drill spy techniques, and the secondary studies how Shedeur manipulates safeties with his eyes. Yes, even without a pro snap, his college tape offers enough evidence. The Ravens' defense thrives on calculated aggression, but they know a mistimed blitz against Sanders could become a 70-yard highlight on ESPN. Meanwhile, the league office and rival franchises are watching with a mix of fascination and dread. Sanders is already a cultural phenomenon. His college highlights still circulate like gospel. His nil-era brand deals proved he understands modern athlete marketing better than some front offices, and his here or anywhere line redefined rookie leverage. The Browns' handling of him will become a case study. If Stefanski sticks with Flacco and loses again, pundits will call it stubbornness. If he inserts Sanders and the rookie falters, critics will scream reckless. Either way, the decision will echo far beyond Mantbank Stadium. Wednesday's practice is telling. Sanders takes second-team reps, but the energy around each throw is different. Every completion draws cheers a little louder than necessary. Every spiral seems to hang in the air a fraction longer. Dillon Gabriel rotates in, crisp and efficient, but without the same magnetic pull. Quinton Judkins takes handoffs with fresh legs, his cuts hinting at a possible debut. Harold Fannin Jr. works the seam routes, the rookie tight and already becoming a safety valve Flacco trusts. Reporters note that Stefanski spends extra time speaking quietly with offensive coordinator Alex Van Pelt near midfield. From a distance, you can't hear the words, but you can read the body language. Van Pelt gesturing toward Sanders, Stefanski shaking his head slightly, both men glancing toward the cluster of receivers, laughing with Shedeur. It's the kind of silent conversation that decides seasons. Back in Cleveland, fans are restless. Sports bars replay Bengals game highlights on loop, each missed opportunity stinging anew. Talk shows debate advanced metrics versus feel for the game. Social media churns out memes of Sanders photoshopped into Ravens purple, some jokes, some not. Jerseys with his name still outsell others, even though he hasn't played it down. The merchandise numbers, the so-called Sanders Clause chatter from the offseason, continue to trend. One local columnist writes, Cleveland may be 0-1, but Sanders is undefeated in the court of public opinion. The Browns' defense, for its part, refuses to sulk. Myles Garrett tells the media, we're not hanging our heads. Baltimore's always a fistfight. We're ready. The defensive line refines gap assignments, aware that the Ravens' ground game punishes even the slightest hesitation. Linebackers run pursuit drills until twilight, chasing shadows across the practice field. On offense, Van Pelt scripts 20 plays for Sunday, 10 safe, 10 spicy. The spicy ones include jet motion misdirection, vertical seams, and a play-action rollout designed specifically for Sanders' skill set, just in case. Nobody will say it on record, but the Ravens' game plan has a secret door labeled Shedeur, break glass if needed. Stefanski has been here before, decision points that can define careers. But the NFL in 2025 is different. Social media amplifies every choice. Fan impatience accelerates timelines, and Shedeur Sanders is unlike any rookie before him. The coach understands that delaying clarity can corrode a locker room faster than a bad play call. He also knows that rushing a young quarterback into Baltimore's cauldron can scar a career. This is the paradox Cleveland faces. To protect the future, they may need to risk it. By Thursday morning, every sports network had turned Cleveland's quarterback situation into a 24-hour reality show. Debate tables on ESPN, FS1, and NFL Network pulsed with split screens of Flacco Sanders and a highlight reel of Shedeur's college bombs against Pac-12 defenses. Analysts argued until their throats burned. On First Take, one pundit slammed his hand on the desk. Kevin Stefanski is playing scared. The Browns lost a winnable game to the Bengals because they refused to unleash Shedeur Sanders. If they wait another week, Baltimore will bury them in the AFC North standings. You don't throw a rookie to the Ravens' defense on the road. Protect him. Give him time. Cleveland's problem wasn't Shedeur sitting, it was turnovers and special teams lapses. Meanwhile, on local Cleveland radio, callers lined up, construction workers on their lunch breaks, grandmothers in Bernie Kosar jerseys, teenagers quoting advanced stats they barely understood. The city was united in only one thing: obsession. Across the league, general managers and scouts exchanged texts under the table. A director of player personnel for an NFC team reportedly messaged a colleague, "If Cleveland mishandles this kid, we pounce." Rumors of hypothetical trades bubbled, nothing imminent, but the smoke was there. The Sanders Clause chatter from the offseason resurfaced. His merch numbers, brand deals, and social media following gave him unusual leverage for a rookie. The Browns' own analytics department presented ownership with grim math. AFC North teams that start 0-2 have less than a 12% chance of making the playoffs. The implication was clear. Sunday's game isn't just a Week 2 matchup, it's a season pivot. And that pivot rests on whether the offense can generate explosive plays, something Sanders promises, but Flacco hasn't delivered consistently. Shedeur isn't merely a quarterback prospect, he's a generational symbol. Raised in the age of nil and TikTok virality, he embodies a new athlete archetype. Part signal caller, part CEO, part influencer. Older executives grumble that he's too brand conscious. Younger players see him as proof that the old NFL hierarchy is crumbling. Coach Prime, Dillon Sanders, hasn't said much publicly, but his Instagram stories speak volumes. Clips of Shedeur's college highlights, emojis of locked doors and keys, a caption that reads simply, "Patience is earned, not given." Fans dissect the posts like scripture, searching for hidden meaning. Baltimore's locker room has taken notice, too. Safety Kyle Hamilton told reporters, "We're preparing for everyone. We respect Flacco, but if they put the rookie in, we'll be ready. Doesn't matter who's back there, we're coming." Linebacker Roquan Smith added with a grin, "If the kid plays, welcome to the league. But we're not rolling out the red carpet." These quotes became instant talking points, replayed on loop across sports radio. The Ravens aren't just a team, they're the measuring stick for toughness. Starting Shedeur against them isn't just a football choice, it's a statement. Behind the scenes, the Browns' marketing department quietly reports that Shedeur Sanders jerseys are outselling every other player on the roster, despite him not taking a snap. Local sporting goods stores are ordering double shipments. Social media impressions from Browns content spike whenever his name appears. Even neutral NFL fans click Browns highlights if Sanders is mentioned. A leaked internal memo revealed that Shedeur has already earned more in merchandise revenue shares than his rookie base salary. For a league built on parity and control, That's alarming. It means players with charisma and digital savvy can out-earn their contracts before proving anything on the field, potentially reshaping future negotiations for young stars. Thursday's closed-door team meeting was supposed to be about third down efficiency, but players report it felt like an intervention. Veteran center Ethan Posick urged everyone to drown out the noise. We win as a team, not as hashtags. But even he knows hashtags can shift narratives faster than any blocking scheme. After practice, receivers Amari Cooper and Elijah Moore stayed late with Sanders, catching deep balls under the dusk sky. The spirals whistled, cutting through the Cleveland evening like promises waiting to be fulfilled. Dillon Gabriel worked quietly on timing routes with the second unit, professional and poised, but the crowd of ball boys and assistants watching Sanders was impossible to ignore. In Las Vegas, oddsmakers adjust point spreads every time a new rumor leaks. In Dallas, a network producer pitches a segment titled Shedeur's Effect, the future of NFL marketing. In New York, a league official privately admits to a reporter that the Browns' situation could influence rookie contract language for years to come. Agents whisper, if Sanders forces Cleveland's hand, it sets a precedent. Rookies can leverage brands, not just performance. And young quarterbacks across college campuses take notes. Friday's walkthrough feels heavy. Stefanski's voice is steady, but players sense the magnitude. A misstep in Baltimore could plunge the Browns into chaos, a potential 0-2 hole, rising fan anger, and the possibility of ownership meddling. A victory, even an ugly one, would silence critics, restore belief, and buy time for Shedeur's development. As the team boards the plane for Baltimore, Garrett looks out the window at the Cleveland skyline. He's been through years of instability, coaching changes, quarterback controversies, near misses. He understands that stability in the NFL is fragile. He mutters to a teammate, we've got the guys. We just need the spark. That spark might be on the bench, wearing a number that already sells more jerseys than stars with playoff wins. Or maybe it's in a game plan that dares to test Baltimore's secondary in ways Flacco can execute without turnovers. Either way, Sunday isn't just another September game. It's a referendum on Cleveland's courage. Sunday night lights will flicker above Matt Bank Stadium, but for Cleveland, the real illumination will come from within. 1 week ago, a single-point loss to the Bengals turned doubt into a drumbeat. Now, every heartbeat inside that locker room sinks to a single truth. The Ravens won't wait for anyone to figure themselves out. Kevin Stefanski has spoken of patience, but patience doesn't earn first downs in Baltimore. Joe Flacco brings steadiness, Dillon Gabriel offers a change of pace, and Shedeur Sanders, still waiting, represents possibility. Even without a snap, his name hovers over the huddle like static before a lightning strike. The veterans know the math. 0-2 in the AFC North can sink a season before autumn leaves turn. The rookies feel the weight too. Harold Fannin Jr., Dylan Sampson, Mason Graham, bright sparks trying to ignite a franchise starving for momentum. Across the line of scrimmage, John Harbaugh's Ravens smell blood. Baltimore feeds on hesitation. Blitzes will come from impossible angles. Safeties will disguise coverages until the last heartbeat, and every yard will be contested. For the Browns, this isn't just a game. It's a statement of identity. Stick with the veteran plan and hope efficiency trumps explosiveness, or risk a glimpse of the future, even if only for a play or two, by letting Sanders touch the field? When the whistle blows in Baltimore, scoreboards will track points, but the league will be watching for something bigger, a franchise either seizing its moment or letting it slip. Win or lose, Shedeur Sanders' shadow will stretch across the AFC North, reminding everyone that in today's NFL, stories are written long before a quarterback ever takes the snap.